by Real 2019 and two true warriors of the ring, right?
Great calls by
Back
fate.
to an unprecedented contest. Anthony Yarde, Fiat English hairdresser, threatened the football camp with his muscles, lethal Russian machine. But when only they were left inside the end of the fight at the Traktor Sport Palace in Russia. It was proved that the strength was
Or
his.
of a variable within the
Formula
that would lead to any
victory. Welcome, I ask for discretion. You are about to witness one of the
damn hide me
earlier in the history
boxing glory.
modern. You will believe the plot twists in this fight. Get comfortable, because the real madness starts now. First round with the sound of the bell.
Born and mission.
It was the contest.
Enjoy your meal.
Yarde's left, Song of Kovalev.
Trust your own work to recognize me.
I lie to his rival.
Could you feel
You have
the
to repeat
caution?
every move behind. In the early stages, neither fighter risked taking the first good hit. Yarde started throwing his left-right combinations, while Kovalev left to keep him at bay.
Hitman.
Traktor managed to take control of the center of the ring, and Yarde was forced to orbit around him. Kovalev's left hand tempted Wise face.
I will
But
have
was
already
suppressed with the threat of counterattack. Simply
Graduate.
put, the intensity of the
A
offense
pair of fighters
increased.
for the end of
The
the
rounds, a true contest for control of the ring.
Motherfucker.
The fight had begun.
sure.
When he jumped, it exploded, intimidating Yarde
Left as
until
you
he
like
backed
it.
into the ropes. That was when Yarde knew he couldn't continue and left.
He can counter it well
Enthusiasts,
against his opponent.
if not what?
I would get into trouble. I was already burned and was on the edge and looked for
can escape the face-to-face with...
sideways movements. Eventually, Kovalev's left-right combinations
I don't show up.
B, as well as the first grabs. Cornered, Yarde received a direct left to his chin.
Which made him crash into...
Against the ropes, but
Far away.
to stop him, he activated survival mode. While Kovalev relied on his jab, Yarde used counterattacks to get off the ropes.
When the
From the
sounds
bell,
It's the laptop
send the
of Konya.
fighters to their corners. Javalev, it had already
He
begun.
started to dominate his opponent.
The cold are
Third
getting
round.
to me and us.
Kovalev's offense had already warmed up.
And his right jab was testing it.
Yarde for a moment seemed to keep evaluating his...
Possibilities occasionally threw his fist to...
Kovalev.
But
what a great
another part of the time, I just followed him closely. Yarde remained...
correlated when
Side
it...
movements were no longer enough to avoid the face-off. Boldly, a combination of punches ending in a left hook in the air gave him a breather. Beyond mastering the rhythm of the fight, Kovalev still seemed very cautious when it came to going for his opponent's head. To allow him to find a way to settle on the ring, he could lose the progress made towards his victory in a matter of seconds. Fourth round. With a powerful left-right combination, Yarde pushed Kovalev out of the center of the ring. Kovalev used his left hand to try to quell Yarde's offense, but he was not successful. In the middle of a clinch, Kovalev received a warning for holding Yarde by the neck, a provocation that he would soon start to pay for. Yarde was the living proof of the saying, better late than never, as he improved his stance against Kovalev. Even the fastest combinations of his opponent, he managed to evade them. Kovalev continues to push him against the ropes, but his threats no longer had the same effect on Yarde. In the center of the ring, Kovalev executed a flurry of punches that ended in a fearsome left that Yarde seemed to absorb without any problem.
Subtitles made
Moreover, Kovalev received a warning for holding Yarde by the neck in a grip before
of a better stance of his
The
rival.
Russian had no choice but to return to his scheme.
try not to rethink its strategy. Fifth round. Yarde's tenacious body combinations
Ferron.
increasingly frequent, and the spark of victory in Kovalev's offense began to fade. After a grave moment of tension, Kovalev opted for the grapple. Didn't know how to gain some time and distance by counterattacking. Kovalev tried to position Yarde with his left to land his right, but without success. He eventually landed good punches, but the waiting periods between them kept getting longer. By century, Yarde seems to start turning the situation around. Check from the ropes. He responded well to the close-range exchange. After that, it was him who rattled his rival's nerves by cornering him at the other end, just before the closing bell.
Sometimes by the mark
Is there still time for an answer?
Who didn't look up how to revert the QR
Yes,
on the
in the
TV
previous
for
round,
you?
I forced Yarde to retreat until the end of the round.
He's going to corner himself.
There Kovalev seemed to hesitate whether to go on the attack or not.
And extending his left hand to make him step
The
back
Russian
from
fighter-
another great chance to seriously hurt him.
Wow! Yarde could notice the doubts in his opponent and went for body combinations. It seemed that Kovalev would have a second chance, but after a brief pause,
Pause to change. Charlie
Lovely.
Guafrainanslov's vocal
it
protection
was in Sivaterello
after having
once
more.
against the ropes. Backyard tried to take down Kovalev.
Their combinations are
Arno
values.
Russo crashed into the
Remember,
quarters.
but I take advantage of
I
the
voted to escape from
danger over the center of the ring.
A brief exchange of punches threatened to leave anyone on the mat.
But they still the attacks.
That kept running.
It didn't last long enough to unfold in real scenarios.
From a catastrophe 7th jump.
Surprised in the 7th round, making Kovalev orbit around him. The disinterested ring got a new owner, and now it was the Russian who was trying to enter and steal it. In the midst of the attacks, controversial holds began to be called out by the referee. After 6 long episodes, the close combat had arrived.
I have already positioned it as it should
Against
be.
the ropes, who escaped to the side. Even so, Yarde was following closely, this time to continue the punishment. The rhythm of the fight was his, and it was obvious. The body attacks not only neutralized Kovalev's offense, they managed to intimidate him. He ended the round against the ropes.
Leaving behind the dominant stance that had been maintained.
Just 3 minutes ago. 8th jump, okay?
I'm looking for the remote with its...
Left, but Yarde's made him retreat quickly.
Yarde got into the groove.
Boris.
Russo had no choice but to accept the mod.
For survival,
He received a new
fun this time for us.
Use your shoulder to push.
Yarde. The grips were no longer sufficient to contain him. Meanwhile,
We already gave it in tennis.
why? To bombard his opponent's body?
Currently, the Russian was forced to fight at the edge of the ropes. His movements
We only gave side steps.
brag about being momentarily
I
cornered.
mentioned it, but that didn't save him from the critical punches that his body was being forced to absorb. Or a big holder
Right
that
of
obeys
yard.
you.
They open Paparig.
Greatest hits of their artillery.
Lay completely against the
for
right.
Russian
Against the
left and right
The left.
hooks.
Jordy became the executioner of Kovalev, the head of the...
Champion from one side to the other until
His back hit the ropes.
and instinctively he threw his body into the hole.
More
The
desperate...
fight so far to the right,
Yarde keeps hitting Kovalev.
who seemed to be near the end. The champion went from one end to the other.
Motivated by nothing but the inertia of the impacts that subjected
His fighting spirit. Yarde was really trying to knock him out, and in the midst of despair, Kovalev.
decided to
The
take
back of the neck once again. It
4-1.
was the referee who put some distance between them. Resuming the
10
fight
seconds
with
remaining.
the
Fly.
bell is what really saved the Russian
No.
from defeat in the corner after this event.
Then body matter.
The coach of
Kovalev told him he would end the fight if he got hit on the head again.
similar witness triggering.
One of the brightest responses in history.
Brilliant in his fighter. Ninth round, Yarde sought to finish what he had started, but the earful from his coach really
It's
caused
a positive effect.
subscribe and turn
so
on
no.
notifications.
They gave way to the opportunity to steal from the rig motor.
From the fight, this surprising turn left Yarde astonished.
Who didn't know how to maintain their good art.
Gotcha. One time.
Moreover, the victory.
I was in neutral territory.
And again, Leon von Kovalev.
10th round. Did Kovalev really come out of his corner? All or nothing.
Proceed with caution.
Once again, he could execute severe combinations.
He cries to his mother's
His
body.
rival continued to orbit around Yarde. But now, in a
Meteorite that would hit Perexine.
everything in his path, Yarde began to show signs of exhaustion. And they were just what Kovalev needed to get Yarde's life.
To verify if I could enter.
They attack without consequences from the
A
right that
buffer.
brought him against the ropes.
Beginning of the final punishment.
This Yarde, the Russian's left side tried its
On
luck.
various occasions crashing against the face of a Yarde whose reflexes
Seemed to be fading against the corner.
one of such a barrage of blows.
Fish managed to endure the brutality of the attack.
Retreat to the ring on the scene of a massacre of
Such magnitude that only the sound of the
Everything is
bell
collapsing.
could save
The
him.
referendum is watching them closely.
11th round. With the judge's
On the way back from
decision,
school,
Tina,
Jardine just had to survive 6 more minutes
the
standing.
problem in their strategy was Kovalev. Due to a stumble in
Yarde fell rolling to the floor.
nothing, it could be
Despite-
counted as a knockdown, that and everything.
Tickle me rainbow.
And whether or not it's end after renewing the
The
contest.
goblet bombarded his body with the best of its artillery.
Jardine
Or escape his destiny by moving as
I'll
a
do it, but it's the middle of it. Welcome
from
in.
a left hook that knocked him down on the canvas.
Wait. Massive effort from Anthony Yarde.
Subscribe.
The end had come, and everyone present knew immediately.
I love you all.
Sergei Kovalev would become a memory.
He cooperated to beat Anthony Yarde by technical knockout at 2 minutes. 4.
Seconds of the 11th round. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, there's better
Formula for supporting mechanisms.
content that by leaving your like on the video.
See you later.
Do you really think Andoni
He
Yarde?
had a chance to win the championship.
Or did he just have 2 rounds of good luck? Tell me in the comments.